You might have heard that sitting is the new smoking. Well, in 10 years or so, standing will be the new smoking because any static position isn't necessarily very kind to the body. The way that we have solved this for ourselves in our home office and at work is through taking 5-minute movement breaks every half an hour or so. And even if we can take a 5-minute movement break, a 2 or a 1-minute movement break can be very beneficial. You might wonder, why does such a short interval of time matter? Why wouldn't you just go out and do a 1-hour hike or a 1.5-hour cardio workout? And the reason is that your body requires constant low-level stimulation throughout the day, not these long, hard bouts of activity. Picture our ancestors who had to do something small all the time in order to take care of themselves and meet their biological needs. Things like going and getting water, or hauling wood for the fire, or carrying children, or squatting down to prepare food. They had to do this all day long in order to survive. And our bodies still have that requirement, but now you can kind of survive just with a click of a mouse. Yet, the biology behind how we survive is so starved for movement. So when you get up every half an hour or so, you have an opportunity to move your body around and to get your body in a state where it can get more blood flow, muscles can pump lymph so you can have better lymphatics, you can get the neurostimulation that your whole body needs. There are 3 ways in which 5-minute movement breaks are very, very helpful, or we can just call them short movement breaks. First, it's very helpful to get your body out of the geometry that it's always stuck in. And geometry in the body is just kind of like geometry on a sheet of paper or the geometry of your house. There are certain angles and certain relationships between different body parts. For example, there are blood vessels at the front of your legs where the pelvis and the legs meet. And when you are seated, those blood vessels create an angular shape, right? They're kind of like bent at an angle. When you stand, they're fully straight. So if you picture like a drinking straw, instead of being straight, it's kind of bent at 90 degrees. And that geometry changes how blood flows to your lower legs. That's one simple example of how geometry of how we're seated affects our cardiovascular system. And now picture that all over the body. When you're static, all of your organs and systems are in one position. When you stand up and move around, they get to be in different positions. And the body is structured in a way that movement is what's pumping life through the body. So you have blood, you have lymph, you have electricity, you have electromagnetic energy. All of these things need to be pumped along, and they won't get pumped along when you are seated. That's why those of us who are more used to having an active lifestyle feel so crappy at the end of a long sedentary day. So getting up every 30 minutes or so, even if it's just for a few minutes, can dramatically improve the geometry of all of your organs and systems. And there is a standing, moving, dynamic geometry that is necessary for us to be healthy. Number 2, there are particular enzymes that your body makes and needs all the time in order for our metabolism to be healthy. And what happens when we're sedentary for long periods of time, there are certain hormones that are and enzymes that are related to our metabolic processes, how we store energy, how we expend energy, that get affected. Just sitting is going to lower some of those enzymes and hormones so that we're more likely to store fat and less likely to move the energy towards our muscles. So when you have a meal and then you're very, very sedentary, that can over time lead to things like metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, and other issues related to metabolic health. So it's great to get up every half an hour or so that you can keep those hormones and enzymes going. Isn't that great? It's not that hard to do. Even just 30 seconds of moving around can start to regulate your blood sugar. And number 3 is a very kind of unusual effect, because most people feel like if they get up, they get interrupted. But actually, getting up and interrupting your work to be moving and to be more active stimulates your creativity and your productivity. So you can actually get more done when your body is in this more alive, more flowy state than if it's kind of like sluggish and sedentary and has been in the same position for a long time. There are many other benefits, and we'll talk about them in other videos. But for right now, think about these three: geometry of our organs and systems, enzymes and hormones, and 3, concentration and productivity. And all of those can be better if you get up every half an hour or so and move around. And it can be as simple as just raising your arms overhead, or moving your pelvis around, or doing something simple with your neck. We have created whole programs dedicated to this, but anything that you do can be very beneficial. So we invite you this week to be more mindful of this. Give yourself reminders, maybe put a little sticky note so that you can start doing that in your daily life. Thanks for being with us, and have a great day.